Ausbildung in Germany sounds like a huge opportunity, right? Germany says it needs skilled workers. You don't need a university degree, you get paid for learning, and there's even a special visa for vocational training. But this is only half of the story. Many influencers and agencies have probably sold you a false image of Ausbildung. So in this video, I'm going to explain you the reality that nobody talks about. Right now, there are a lot of misunderstandings about Ausbildung online. You might hear people say an Ausbildung is basically like studying, but you also work and get paid. And that sounds great, but it's only part of the story. An Ausbildung is not university with a part-time job. It's professional training for a specific career. For example, you can become a nurse, electrician, IT specialist, office administrator, mechanic, salesperson, or train for hundreds of other recognized professions in Germany. And most Ausbildung programs last between 2 and 3.5 years. And during that time, you get a training salary every single month. But you're still a trainee, so this means you don't earn as much as a fully qualified worker. The big advantage is that you get real work experience from your very first day and finish with a recognized qualification. But remember, during an Ausbildung, you're both an employee and a student at the same time. Now we need to talk about the salary that you get during the vocational training. This is one of the biggest selling points. You get paid to learn, but barely anyone tells you that the salary is closer to survival money than financial freedom. So during your Ausbildung, of course, depending on your profession and year of training, you might get something between 900 and 1,300 euros per month before taxes. Some professions pay more, others pay less. And yes, this sounds like a lot of money if you compare it to salaries in other countries. But you also have to remember that Germany is an expensive country. And if you check the cost of living in some German cities, you're going to realize that 900 to 1,300 euros doesn't get you very far. So many people ask, can you survive on the Ausbildung salary? Yes. Can you save a lot of money? Probably not. If you understand this before coming to Germany, you're going to be much less disappointed. Now, some people have probably told you that Germany has a huge shortage of workers and is looking for skilled people. And yes, that's partially true. I even made a video about it. Germany has many Ausbildung positions that don't get filled. But at the same time, many people are looking for an Ausbildung and still can't find one. The problem is that the jobs and the applicants don't always match. And the open positions are often not in the jobs or cities that people want. Office jobs, banking and IT can still be very competitive. The biggest shortages are usually in jobs like healthcare, construction, logistics, gastronomy, food production and skilled trades. And this is where some people make a big mistake. Let's say an agency offers them any Ausbildung that is still available and they accept it just because it gets them to Germany. But choosing an Ausbildung is not like choosing what you eat for dinner. You're choosing the job that you're going to do for the next 3 years. Now, for most vocational training visas, B1 German is the minimum requirement. But passing a B1 German exam and working in German every single day are two very different things. On your first day at work, your supervisor might explain your schedule, the safety rules and how everything works. And they're definitely not going to speak slow textbook German. They're going to speak at a normal speed, use very job-specific words and sometimes even have a local accent. And at the vocational school, all lessons are also going to be in German. If you work in healthcare, you need to understand elderly patients. If you work in customer service, you have to deal with angry customers. And if you work in a technical job, misunderstanding one instruction is dangerous. And that's why having strong B1 or even B2 German is much more realistic. It's also a good idea to learn the vocabulary for your job before you come to Germany. And the language can also be difficult on an emotional level. You know, back home you might be confident and good at what you do. But in Germany you might struggle to explain even simple things. You know, some people might think you know less than you actually do. So don't learn German only to pass the visa requirement. You have to learn German so you can handle your first Monday at work. If you're getting started with German, I also made a video on the best way to learn German as a beginner. I also put the link to it in the video description. During an Ausbildung, your company expects you to come to work on time, do your tasks and slowly become more independent. And at the same time, you know, your vocational school expects you to study, do the homework and pass your exams. And what your daily life looks like depends on your profession. If you work in IT, you might have a normal office day. But if you work in nursing, hospitality or construction or logistics, you might have shifts, you know, weekend work, physical tasks and long days. And many people don't realize how challenging an Ausbildung can be. You're not only going to school and you're not only working, you're doing both at the same time. So depending on your job, you might have early morning shifts, late evening shifts, weekend work, practical training, homework, projects and exams all in the same week. It's possible that you work for 8 hours, come home tired, and then you still have to study for an exam the next day. And some people think an Ausbildung is great because you get paid while you study. And that's true, but you earn that money because you're doing real work for your company. You're not just sitting in a classroom all day. So it's not really fair to say that Ausbildung is easier than university. There might be less academic theory, but it can be much more demanding in other ways. You might have less free time, fewer long holidays, and in many jobs the work is physically and emotionally challenging. Now, two people can do the same Ausbildung and have completely different experiences. One person has a great trainer, learns a lot and slowly gets more responsibility with time. And the other person has no real training, does unrelated work and fills in for missing staff, and starts to hate every single Monday. And in this case, as an international trainee, you might not know all your rights. And you might also be afraid that speaking up could affect your visa. But being grateful for the opportunity doesn't mean that you have to accept everything. In Germany, you actually have a lot of rights as an employee, but many internationals don't know this. If you're not sure how to apply for an Ausbildung in Germany, getting help from an agency can make sense. Some agencies give you proper support and also help you navigate the process. But there are also agencies that charge extremely high fees, make unrealistic promises, and try to sell you Ausbildung like a product. They might say guaranteed visa, no German required, pay today or you lose the position. But be especially careful if you depend entirely on an agency. In that situation, it's easy to feel pressured into accepting an offer simply because you are afraid of losing your chance to come to Germany. But remember, you are making a decision that will affect the next 2 to 3.5 years of your life. So don't let desperation make the decision for you. No agency can guarantee that the embassy will approve your visa or that you will successfully complete the Ausbildung. And please always ask for a written breakdown of all fees and what happens if the company or the visa actually falls through. I have also seen students who got pressured by agencies on WhatsApp. It's very important to understand that an Ausbildung contract is not a visa document that you purchase. It's an actual working relationship that will shape a big part of your life in Germany. So many people ask me, is an Ausbildung an easy way to move to Germany? Getting the visa can be easier than many other options. You don't need a university degree, you get paid while you're training, and after finishing your Ausbildung, you can have very good career opportunities. Now, the real challenge is getting a company to hire you, working in German every day and managing your finances, and finding a company that actually gives you good training. Please don't choose an Ausbildung just because someone told you it's an easy and nice way to get to Germany. Instead, ask yourself, can I really see myself doing this job for the next 3 years? Don't choose a profession because someone on TikTok said it's easy to get accepted. But if you choose the right profession, find a good company, and know what to expect, it is a way to build a stable future in Germany. Now, learning German is the most important part of this entire process. So watch this video next. Love you and stay focused.